I just woke up, and usually I like to wake myself up a little bit more before I start doing a review, but then I realized we're talking about The Strangers Chapter 1, so who cares? Plus, I'm already kind of late to this review.
You are the messiest eater on the planet.
Lock the front door! In The Strangers Chapter 1, we follow a couple driving cross-country to begin a new life in the Pacific Northwest. But after their car breaks down, they're forced to spend the night in a secluded Airbnb where they are terrorized from dusk till dawn by three masked strangers. Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of people say that they are surprised to find out that this is not a prequel, seeing how it's called The Strangers Chapter 1, but going into this movie, for me personally, I clearly already knew that, but even if I didn't know that going in, I wouldn't have been able to tell either other way because I haven't seen the two previous films. The most I know about them actually has nothing to do with the movies themselves, but there was this reality show, don't ask me which one, it was like The Voice or American Idol or something. There was a reality show where this kid did really good, but then he ended up getting disqualified because someone found a picture of him wearing the mask of the main killer in this movie, but they thought it was a KKK mask. But seeing how this thing is getting panned by both critics and audiences, it doesn't matter if I saw the two previous films or not. Heck, I originally had no plans to go watch this movie because I never saw the first two films and it was getting such bad reviews. But then one thing got me to go see it because at the time recording this, let's see if it still stays this way, this is part one in a new Strangers trilogy, and I just assumed at one point I would have to go see the other two films. Again, let's see if it still stays that way. Now, seeing how I'm kind of late to talking about this movie, I guess the question is it as bad as everyone is saying it is? Normally, I would like to say no, but people, not only is this every generic horror movie you've ever seen, but it honestly doesn't even work as a part one movie. Usually in part one movies, things happen throughout that get you hyped for what the next film is going to bring, and the first film is long enough to the point where you've had to cut it up into two or more parts. In this, however, they roam through and around the cabin. It takes about 40 minutes for the strangers to properly show up. They roam through the woods looking for each other for about 20 minutes, and then the movie is only 90 minutes long, where you could have gone on for a little bit longer. But the movie is so bad that I'm glad it's only 90 minutes. As for the rest of the movie, it's just a checklist of every little thing you've seen in every horror slasher movie ever. We follow a couple on their anniversary trip, their car breaks down, everyone in the town gives them weird looks, including the children of the corn, their car breaks down, wait, I already said that. I'll keep going. They get stuck at a cabin in the woods where some slashers are roaming around. Our leads try to escape, and there's an overly long scene where they all roam through the woods looking for each other. Not even kidding. That's the entire movie, people. This movie is so basic that I have not seen so much nothing happen in a movie since that Adam Driver movie 65. I also didn't care about our two leads and whether they lived or not, and as the movie goes on, the choices they make just keep getting dumber and dumber. I can't think of any other time where I watched a movie and I constantly kept saying, dumbass, dumbass, dumbass. And the only backstory we have about them is that they've been together for 5 years and he hasn't proposed. That is literally it. And I know it's a slasher film, but this movie starts out on a very happy note with saying something around the lines of, according to the FBI, 1.4 million crimes happen every day, and since this film has started, 7 have already happened. Thanks, movie! Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but now I'm thinking about that. Dicks! But you want to know the biggest middle finger of all involving this movie? In 90% of it, there is not a single kill. What? How do you have the balls to call yourself a slasher movie and your slashers don't do dick? Actually, most of the movie is just the slashers roaming around the house and our two leads not noticing because they're total fucking dumbasses. The best thing I can say about this movie is that there was a scene involving a nail, and that scene was okay. As for the rest of it, it's terrible, and I honestly don't get how this got a theatrical release. Honestly, what they should have done is what they did with the Fear Street movies and go to Netflix and put one out for 3 weeks, even if they all sucked ass. So in the end, it's ass. No, that's all I gotta say, the movie's ass. Actually, what I hope happens is that this one bombs, which leads to the other two getting canceled, which would make the giant to be continued at the end the biggest middle finger ever. But anyway, I'm gonna give The Strangers Chapter 1 a D-. And honestly, I shouldn't be shocked in the slightest that this was terrible, because I saw this movie at 10:50 in the morning, and the last movie I saw at 10:50 in the morning was not another church movie. And right now, some critics are taking back every little bad thing they said about If. Oh, and last thing, I do see why people thought this was a prequel, because in the trailer, which I'm honestly not sure if I saw or not, it says, see how the strangers became the strangers. How the fuck can you put that in your trailer and then not be a prequel? Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, turn on the notification bell, and I'll be back later with more reviews. See you then.